Welcome dear students. This is the continuation of my cell cycle lecture. In this class, we will learn about another regulation mechanism that occurs during cell cycle. As you all know that after cell cycle or cell division, two daughter cells are produced with equal number of chromosomes. That means during this cell cycle, the chromosome number should be doubled, and this process is called replication that occurs during this S phase. But what happens if replication occurs twice or more than one during each cell cycle? I will give you an example. Let's suppose if the replication occurs twice during each cell cycle, then the number of chromosome will be 4 times. Okay, but it will be disaster for a cell. So the repetition of this replication should be once and only once during each and every cell cycle. So how this repetition is actually checked during this cell cycle, that the replication should occur only once in per cell cycle? I will show you. This is very important, and in many years I have seen that many questions come in the CSIR NET examination. So let's suppose this is a DNA. As we all know that replication do not start from abruptly any region of the DNA. It occurs particular region. We call it replication origin. Suppose this is the replication origin, and there are many replication origin sites are present in a chromosome. So let's suppose this is one replication origin site. Replication origin. Okay. In case of E. coli, it is called ORIC, where from the replication starts. Now, during early G1 phase, the activity of the CDK is very low, because during this mitosis process, APC by C, another protein I have mentioned in my previous classes, actually degrade this CDK. So the activity of the CDK is very low, and this is the key for these regulations. The whole regulation of this replication, that it should be occurred once per cell cycle, actually depends on an enzyme called helicase. Okay, this helicase in case of mammalian we call MCM27. That means this MCM means mini chromosome maintenance, 27 means there is 6 subunits from 2 to 7. It names accordingly. This is a helicase. And why helicase is important for replication? Because chromosome or DNA remains winding in conditions, and it should be unwind for the replications. If it is not unwind in condition, DNA polymerase cannot replicate. For the unwinding, this DNA helicase is very important. So it is the helicase. It is helicase MCM27. Now during the replication process, in the early G1, CDK activity is low, and there is a protein that is associated with this replication origin always and all the time during this replication, called ORC. ORC, the full name of the ORC is origin recognition complex. This protein associated with all the time during this cell cycle. Okay, and during this early G1, another replication initiator protein called CDC, let's assume this is the protein, another protein. This protein is named CDC6, associated with this ORC, origin recognition complex. And this MCM protein actually associated with another replication initiator protein, that is called, let's suppose this protein names is called CDT1. Okay, these two proteins, initiator proteins, helps in the recruitment of MCM27, and there are two MCM actually associate, two MCM protein actually bind with this replication origin site. Let's suppose this is the MCM protein. Two MCM protein binds This is called MCM or helicase loading. Helicase loading. You have to understand this. This total regulation depends on two events. One is called helicase loading, another is called helicase activation. When the helicase is associated with CDT1 and with this ORC or CDC6, this helicase is not actually activated in condition. Just loading occurs. Loading happens, but it is not activated. For the activation, cell waits, and during the G1S phase, the percentage or the activity of a particular CDK activated called CDK2, that means it is also S phase CDK. So this is actually S phase CDK. From the G1 S phase CDK, S phase CDK gets activated, starts to get activated, and another kinase enzyme called DDK enzyme gets activated. So these two enzymes get activated during this G1S phase. But during this early G1 phase, the level of the CDK is very low due to APC/C enzyme. Now these two proteins phosphorylate particular molecules like DDK. This molecule DDK phosphorylate MCM proteins. Phosphorylate MCM proteins. And this phosphorylation actually helps in the activation of the MCM helicase. But another two proteins associated with this MCM protein, we call this MCM27 proteins associated with another two proteins called CDC45 and another is called GINS. These three complex proteins actually are the structure of or the activated helicase. Only MCM27 cannot function. When MCM27 gets phosphorylated by the DDK and associated with CDC45 and GINS, then it is get activated, total activated. So this total togetherly called CMG complex. CMG complex. You must remember this. CMG complex. When this MCM associated with CDC45 or there is GINS, then it gets activated. And what is the role of CDK2? CDK2 activates another three proteins. They activate the CDK2 activate actually phosphorylate two proteins called SLD3, SLD2, and these two proteins when get phosphorylated associated with another protein called DBP11, and these three protein actually a complex associated with this MCM protein, and they actually helps in the activation of the MCM helicase. So now you can see the helicase loading and the helicase activation occurs during different phases of the cell cycle. Helicase loading occurs during early G1 phase, but only helicase loading cannot actually unwind the DNA. For the unwinding of the DNA, the helicase should be activated, and this thing occurred, this helicase activation occurred after the G1S phase when the CDK activity levels gets high. So if I draw a graph, so when the helicase loading occurs, when the CDK level is low, and when the level of CDK gets increased, the helicase activation occurs. So in this phase, helicase loading occurs, helicase loading, and in this phase, helicase activation occurs. If I say that this is the graph of CDK2, when CDK2 gets increased, and this is the phase of G1, early G1 phase, or from the late mitosis to the early G1, from the late mitosis, because from the late mitosis means anaphase, APC/C gets activated. So from this late mitosis to the early G1, these CDK2 levels get lower so that helicase loading can occur, and the activation of the helicage occurs during this period called G1 S phase transitions, or during the S phase. Only during that time CDK2 gets very activated and they can perform its function. So by separating these two phases, helicage loading and helicage activations, replication gets only occurs during once and only one time during each and every cell cycle. So now this process occurs, but how? Now this helicage helps in the unwinding of the DNA, then DNA polymerase comes and replication starts. Okay, this is easy. But how this process can be stopped? Because if this helicage remains loaded on the DNA, it can another time can unwind the DNA, and then DNA polymerase can perform its function. So the number of replication can be twice, thrice, or more than that. For that reason, this kinase enzyme like CDK or DDK another time phosphorylates these MCM proteins. They another time phosphorylate. I am showing this phosphorylation with different color like green. They phosphorylate another time this MCM helicage, and when the MCM helicage gets phosphorylated by this way, another round by this kinase, then this MCM proteins get export out of the nucleus. It cannot remain there. And another thing is this enzyme can also phosphorylate this SLD2, SLD3 differently, and they also get separated and actually digested by a protein called SCF. This is the ubiquitin ligase enzyme. Okay. Another thing is there is a protein called geminin that actually capture after this S phase. After the late S phase, there is a protein called geminin, very small protein that associate with, that actually capture CDT1. You can see here that CDT1 actually associate with helicage, helps in the recruitment of the helicage, but geminin actually associate with the helicage. And during this late S phase, from the late S phase, there is no APC by C, but after the late mitosis to the early G1, APC by C actually gets activated, and then this APC by C actually digest or destroy this geminin, and when the geminin is not there, the CDT1 will be free with, then it can associate with MCM27. So this total mechanism can be divided into two phases. I can write here from late mitosis to early G1. In that phase, no loading of helicage occur, so that no activation of helicage occurs. But from the early G1 to G1S phase, helicage loading occur, but helicage cannot be activated because the level of CDK2 is very low during this early G1 period to G1S phase, before the G1S phase. But from the G1S phase, the level of CDK2 gets high, so the up to late S phase, the MCM protein can be activated. So now you can see in this cell cycle mechanism or cell cycle molecules, they actually separate these two events called helicage loading and helicage activation. By this way, they can actually regulate replications, the repeat of the replications. So that the replication should occur once and only once during the cell cycle. So this is very important. If you have any doubt, you can write me in the comment section, because this is very important phenomena that occurs during cell cycle. Thank you for watching, and always keep learning.